If somebody's mugging you, give them that evil eye. Yo, what's up guys? Ape here with Evil Eye deck profile. Francisco wanted to do this deck a long time ago. He never really got around to it. So I went ahead and took on that challenge of making an Evil Eye deck. It's probably from back when we did Infinity Chasers, which was a while back. But now with them getting more support cards and things like that, especially with a new spell in Eternity Code, it actually makes the deck a little bit easier just to at least get some bodies on board, and it's a lot easier to link and stuff. So that's why I want to make the deck. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So with this deck, obviously it's a kind of low monster count. Your main monster you always want to get to is your 3 Sergio, because this searches any Evil Eye card. I can understand why its effect is only when it's normal summon, so if you normal it gets ashed or whatever, kind of sucks. But hopefully with the other cards in your hand, you can either get to either an Evil Eye Saline, or you already have Evil Eye Saline out or already in your hand, so that way you can get its effect and stuff. So, but yeah, he's definitely the main card you want to get to, because he just searches out anything. Obviously, for like a follow-up play, I do run the 2 Medusa, because this gets back any Evil Eye card from your graveyard to your hand. And obviously, if she's one thing I probably forgot to mention with the Sergio, when Sergio is equipped with the Evil Eye Saline, you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls, I believe. Yes, your opponent controls and destroy it. So the only downside of that is that the next standby phase you have to destroy a card control. Usually you would maybe want it in tandem with the field spell that we do run, because if it gets destroyed, you can add an Evil Eye monster back from the graveyard to your hand. If not, you could always, one thing I always just do is just destroy the Evil Eye Saline, because once you start using your other Evil Eye spells, they're kind of dead in the graveyard. So usually I would just banish the spell and then set back the Saline, but we'll get to that point. But yeah, but that's why with Sergio, you want to pick and choose when you use it, or if your opponent really is afraid of it, you don't have to use it. But then with Medusa, if she's equipped with the Evil Eye Saline, she's like a ETCO. She can banish a card in the graveyard, or a monster in your opponent's graveyard. So she's good. And then we obviously run 2 Basilisks. Before the new spell came out, I was thinking about running this at 3, just because it's a free summon. But now with 2 is okay now, because you don't rely on it as much as you need to, because of the new spell that came out. This also, let's say if you don't have Saline, or you weren't able to search it with Sergio, you can at least dump it in the grave, and if you have another Evil Eye spell and trap, you can always banish it and set it to your field and equip it to your Sergio. So that's why he's good. Just a good like foolish burial of goods for the spells and traps. And then we run one of the, I don't even know how you say his name, Catoplepes Familiar of the Evil Eye. He's just good because like you could we do run Tour Guide, because everything's a fiend. He can get you a free Sergio if need be, or if not, he's just an extender while in the grave. But also the other effect I really like of him is once he's on the field, once per turn you can target a spell and trap in your zone, and you can protect it till the end of the next turn. So that's why, that way your opponent can't get rid of Evil Eye Saline. So that's why I like that card. And then obviously you run 2 Tour Guides. Obviously, like I said, everything's fiend. Usually you use this to summon out with the Basilisk or like I said, the Catoplepes, just because it gets you free summons. But yeah, maybe you can, even if you can debate your opponent with this, and you can still go from there. But yeah, it's just a good start card in case you don't get Sergio. But there's a lot of ways to get Sergio as well in the deck, so that's why I like playing this deck. And then for hand traps, I just play 3 Ghost Ogre. This could honestly be whatever you like: DD Crow, Ash, and Permanence, or any other hand trap you can think of. But I just like Ogre just for this deck, just because. So like I said, it could be anything you'd like it to be. Alright guys, and now on to the spells. So obviously, Evil Eyes do have a spell, field spell, Evil Eye Domain. So when this activated, obviously you can search any Evil Eye monster, and most often now you're going to get Sergio. And like I said, when this card gets destroyed by a card effect, you can add back an Evil Eye monster back from your graveyard to your hand. Its other effect, you don't use as much, but the effect is if your Evil Eye monster battles, your opponent takes the same damage you would, so that kind of helps out too, maybe once in a while. They won't see it coming. And then obviously we run 2 Saline, and because it goes in tandem, we play 2 Evil Eye of Gorgonio, which is another newer card that came out in Chaos Impact. You would want to go for Saline most often than not, because it makes your monster can be destroyed by battle, or your opponent's card effects, or be targeted by for card effects. So you usually want to go into Saline. And then the Gorgonio is just kind of a substitute because it counts as Evil Eye Saline in the spell and trap zone. And this is just kind of more of like to game your opponent, because if your life points are lower than your opponent's, the monster gains the difference. So usually you kind of want to equip it to like a Gorgon, so you can just kind of run over something, and then the Gorgon Empress already gains more attacks, so it just makes it more beefy. But yeah, like I said, Evil Eye Saline is the one you really want to go for, and you can always summon it back. Then the other thing I like about Gorgonio is that you can search out anything with this effect. So it has the double utility that I like in the card. And now for the new spell that I keep talking about throughout this whole video is the 2 Evil Eye Reemergence. So this card, you summon, you activate it, you get a token. But the only thing is you can only summon fiends for the rest of the turn, but that doesn't really matter sometimes. Or if you have like a Sergio or something equipped with Evil Eye Saline, as long as Evil Eye Saline is in the spell and trap zone, you get summon 2 tokens. So with that, obviously you can go into the Gorgon really easily. Or you can link climb into like a Sergio if you really need to. But yeah, just this card just really helps out to get that extra body on board, whatever you need it to be. It kind of sucks because I do run one Wee Witch in the extra deck, you know, just because everything's dark in the deck. But because it's spellcasters, you can't really summon Wee Witch. So usually with this, you would want to go into Gorgon, and then if you really need to, you can summon Sergio. But this just makes to get Gorgon the Empress out really easily. And also its other effect is if you banish it, you can your spell and traps will be destroyed. Can be destroyed by card effects for the rest of the turn, I believe. Yeah. Oh, it cannot target. Sorry, can't to be targeted, but they can still be destroyed. So that's another good little effect that you have. And obviously, you play 2 Evil Eye Awakening. This card's really good because you special summon an Evil Eye monster from your hand or graveyard. But if you have Evil Eye Saline in the spell and trap zone, you can summon one from the deck. So usually before, this would be a way for you to get your Gorgon and your Sergio out. But now with that new spell, it's a lot easier to combo or to get at least bodies on board. But it's just a good extender with like, you know, the Evil Eye Saline and stuff. So it just helps. It's just like a one more card. But we only play 2 because you don't want to see it that often. And you can always search it out with Sergio if you ever need it. And for the last Evil Eye Spell and Trap, I play 1 Confrontation. This is kind of like your MST for the deck. And yeah, I just play 1. You can always cut this out for something else if you like, but I just run the 1 just because sometimes if your opponent does have a lot of spell and traps, or they have like that floodgate, you can't really do much. So that's why we just play the 1. And like I said, it's searchable, so why not? And now on to the other spells of the deck. I play 3 Pot of Duality because, and I mean, there are those times where you do want a special, especially now with the Reemergence card and everything. But sometimes just on the Sergio and the Evil Eye Saline can be good enough, especially if you can get like your traps and stuff. Oh, because we play a couple traps. But if you have like Crackdown and things like that, you can, you know, kind of interrupt your opponent. But yeah, just Pot of Duality is just a good card just to search, because once you get Sergio out, even if you don't special summon for the rest of the turn, it's okay. So that's why Pot of Duality is good in the deck. And what dark deck wouldn't play a Super Polymerization? That's why we play this card, because everything's dark. Even if you have to end up using your own monsters, but usually you're going to use your opponent's monsters. And also whatever they're playing against. That's what, you know, we'll show the extra deck in a bit. You know, depending on what you're playing against, you can get rid of their monsters and summon out a monster for free. So that's why we play Super Poly, because it's annoying. And in case we're not going first, I know probably this would be more of a side deck card, but I think for this deck, do play double Dark Rule No More. I mean, you're not really gonna game your opponent 1 turn unless you unless you took a lot of life and things like that, and you have the Gorgon out with like the Gorgonio. But usually, you know, if you have like you can just do Sergio and stuff. That's why I play a Dark Rule No More, just because sometimes if your opponent does amass a pretty big board or annoying board with too many interruptions, you can at least turn everything off with this, albeit as long as they don't have a judgment or something. But yeah, that's just there just in case you're going second and you kind of don't have any other way to get rid of their monster. So it just kind of turns everything off. And now for the 1-ofs, obviously, like I said, we're playing a control-based deck, so we play Mind Control and Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion for the Thousand Eyes Restrict, and then Mind Control just in case you need to take away something of theirs if you don't want them to have it anymore and link it away or whatever it may be. Now onto the traps. Evil Eyes do have their own trap card. Well, they have other traps, but the one I like playing is the Evil Eye Retribution. You could probably bump this up to 2 if you really like. It depends really what you're playing against. But it's just, that's why I just play the 1-up just in case. Let's say depending on what your opponent's playing, you can use this to stop that one spell and trap that they need to extend or whatever it may be. So that's why I just play the 1. And also if you do have the Evil Eye Saline, it can be responded to. So that's great. Then for regular traps, I played Triple Crackdown because like I said, you just want to interrupt your opponent. And just Crackdown is really good because with the Gorgon, it's any 2 monsters, but one of them has to be Evil Eye. So as long as you take one of your opponent's monsters and you use one of your own Evil Eye monsters, it's a free Gorgon. So that's what I played. And for the last card we play is One Waking the Dragon. Like I said, this is just more just for like to troll a little bit, but also because like I said, if you do end up having like traps and other spells in the spell and trap zone, your opponent's gonna want to destroy them, and sometimes if they do end up blinding MST or blinding Twin Twisters, they destroy this, you get a free monster out. So that's why I just like playing it. Just more of as like a bluff card. So that way it makes your opponent think about what they're doing sometimes. And now onto the extra deck. I only see myself playing one Sergio. He is a good card, but sometimes I feel like Gorgon at the Empress is a little bit better, just because she's a lot easier to summon. And even though he's equipped, if he is equipped with Evil Eye Saline, you can destroy a card your opponent controls. But other than that, I just play the 1 just because I don't really see myself going into him. Like I said, Gorgon Empress I feels like a little easier to make, and she's just like I said, just easier to make. So we played 3 Gorgon Empress of the Evil Eye, and her obviously if she's equipped with Evil Eye Saline, target one monster your opponent controls negates effects till the end of turn. Her other effect is that she gains 100 attack for every Evil Eye card with different names in your graveyard, so she can herself be kind of beefy. So that's why I like her. And even if she's not equipped with Evil Eye Saline, like I said, with that effect of gaining 100 attack, doesn't have to be equipped with Evil Eye Saline, so that's why I like her. And then for regular links, I play 1 Wee Witches because everything in the deck is dark. We play 1 Cerberus and 1 Phoenix. Like I said, if you need to get rid of cards, you can play these cards if you like. And then for link 4, Borlo Dragon. Honestly, you probably won't summon him with your own monsters. Like I said, with this, you probably summon it with your opponent's monsters and things like that. Mind Control, Crackdown. So that's why we play it. And then onto fusions and like your super poly targets and things like that. Obviously for instant fusion, we play Thousand Eyes Restrict because if your opponent has an annoying monster, we can take it away. And then now for the super poly targets, we play 1 Mud Dragon in the Swamp, just because it's a good card. And then 1 Starting Venom Fuse Dragon, if, you know, they're playing darks and things like that. 1 Dragostapelia, and then Borderlord Furious Dragon. The only reason why I'm playing this card, well, 2 reasons. 1, in case you're playing against like a dragon deck, and they're dark. But also, he can be Awakening the Dragon target as well, because if you, he's kind of like a diamond. He's like a Diamond Dire Wolf when he's on the field. You can target 1 card, target 1 monster you control, and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy him, so you can target himself and the other card and destroy it. And then a second effect actually is what intrigued me about using him, is that you can banish him from the graveyard and target a dark link in your graveyard and summon it back. So obviously your Gorgon, your Sergio, they're all dark, so you could banish it and summon it back if need be. Or let's say if you summon Borlo Dragon properly earlier and you bring this out, you can get Borlo back. So that's why I played him in the deck, and he's just a 3k attacker as well. So but yeah, it's a really niche effect that actually kind of helps out. And then for other Waking the Dragon targets, we play 1 Crystal Wind Synchro Dragon, obviously to negate monster effects and things like that. And if that doesn't work out, you can summon the Ultimate Chicken, and he's just really annoying to get over. 3500 attack beater, and yeah, nothing left to say about that guy. But that's it for the deck profile, you guys. Let us know down in the comments what you think about the deck. What do you play in your Evil Eye deck? I know it's probably a little cookie cutter compared to all the decks you've seen on YouTube or online or whatever. But hopefully it does get new support, so maybe it has like a different kind of play style and things like that. But it is a really fun deck to play, especially if you're playing against your friends. And it's not too expensive. Probably only the Sergio, the monster is expensive. But other than that, it's a pretty cheap deck if you want to pick it up and play it with your friends. But like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Check out TCG Player affiliate link if you ever want to build this deck or any of the other decks we've made on the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a good one.